starting the new year off strong. We've got two best friends fighting and dealing with FFX in-game harassment. Here's Cassie and Pickles. What up?
Hi.
What's up?
Hi.
Welcome. Thanks for joining. Really,
You're welcome.
really stoked to have a sit down and hear your side of the story, guys. I know that you guys have a couple. I think that your perspective is very interesting. And hopefully, the comm will too. Would you say that the game is dead in its current state, or not?
There's not a lot of stuff to do anymore like they used to.
Mm-hmm. It's not
And
as
now,
fresh.
yeah, and there's still a lot of players that want to shoot you, you know?
Mm-hmm. What about you, Cassie? Like, what is the game dead?
Yeah, to me it's dead because not very much stuff to do and not no like updates anymore and not the same anymore. So
There's not as
it's
much
not like
enthusiasm. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like it was like used to be. So
Yeah. I mean, I myself have only been playing for under a year. I can only imagine what it was like in peak years like 2020 and 2021. It's still kind of popping off for me. I still have fun if I can kind of avoid the bad players, the cheaters, and a bunch of other types of people. But we basically came here to talk about something important, right? The abuse online and the harassment. We're here to discuss like the FFX harassment situation. It's pretty extensive with you guys, and we had to come all the way here in Tall Trees. First of all, it's a gorgeous place. We had to block a lot of people to make this podcast happen because you guys are getting consistently jumped by a couple of crews, but we'll just stick to FFX for now. So guys, can you give your impressions of FFX and what you think of them as a whole in the community?
well, they're mean and I had bad experience with them before.
Mm-hmm.
And they jumped me a lot
Okay.
and they bullied me.
Standard practice, coming from them. What about you, Pickles? What do you think?
They're mean and they're trash.
Mhm.
I had bad experience when they harassed me in my DMs and they jumped me.
Yeah, I've seen your text logs. I mean, these people will literally text you in the beginning of the day, at the end of the night, just to get under your skin. They want you to think about them, right? They're provocateurs at its best. I just think that it's important to kind of do a little deep dive into like their heads and stuff and what they're thinking and what is the point of all this, because there's no logic behind how they behave and how they act within the comm. But most of them are cheaters. I would say easily 60 to 70% of them are cheating. And also all their leaders are pretty much cheaters. I mean, no one's gonna want to appear on the scorecard. We all know how that works. What do you think is their ultimate goal pertaining to the both of you guys? How they handle you guys and
Trying
how they
to
interact.
trying to keep us from the game and trying to force us not to play.
Okay, so they really want they really obsess over control, and they want you thinking about them. They want to discourage you from playing. They want to control your ability to want to play too. That's one of the most important things. If people don't want to play anymore because of these types of behaviors, or these types of, I wouldn't even call them gamers. I would call them anti-gamers, but people like that would be their ultimate goal, is like to see you leave and to push you out of the game so that you never want to play again. And obviously they'll bully you, they'll jump you all the time, in regards to this. How bad is the bullying, would you guys say?
It's like um it's not that bad. It's just annoying how they have to have other people out on us to find us,
Mm-hmm.
and they threaten us and stuff. And
I haven't been seeing them too much lately, though. Ironically enough, the trick is just a mass block, maybe, and then as soon as you see people spawning on you, just keep on blocking them till till they get the message, because obviously they're really persistent.
I feel like that they are just mostly attacking me for something I didn't do. They jump me, they harass me in my DMs,
Hmm.
they they threaten me. I mean, I think I'm getting the worst of it than Cassie is.
Okay, and we'll definitely go through that further down the podcast. I'm sure you have
Yes.
tons of stories on that. You know, like analyzing their behavior, they really do seem desperate for attention, especially when they're constantly asking you to unblock them. Guys, can you anyone expand on that?
Yeah, I can. I get DMs all the time by a couple of them saying unblock us so we can take care of you,
Hmm.
or we could jump you. They did it like every day. They'd be like, unblock me, unblock me, unblock me.
And why are they so um, preoccupied with you? Why are they so fixated on you in particular, Pickles? Do you provoke them? Do you like send nasty messages through text? Like how? Why you? What makes you special?
I think it's because at the beginning we called the people out about jumping me, and then it got worse with the text messages
Hmm.
back and forth,
Okay,
and
okay.
now they won't leave me alone.
Okay, so this is actually pretty interesting, you know, because they seem very attention-seeking and very desperate for fights. Obviously, starving for fights, I should say. We can kind of talk about the like phases of FFX, if you want to call it. So basically, the initial part is usually you encounter FFX members in free roam. They're usually going to cheat you. It's going to piss you off, maybe. That's usually the usual thing. I've never even heard of a fight where FFX comes in clean. You know what I mean? They're usually like trailing behind like mob, you know, trying to like third party
Yes.
another fight. You know, they like really love to piggyback off of mob's fights. Unless they're actually like, you know, trying to pursue the people that offended them. You know, because you know what is FFX's problem really? Why are they like so toxic, and why are they so preoccupied with like harming people online? It's really fascinating to say the least. But you encounter them in the game. They cheat you. You might, you know, you might react a certain way, whether you know, you take it to social media or you call them out through text messages. But typically, it'll go to text message. You know, you'll call them trash. They'll call you crap for whatever reason, which is hilarious when you know they're the ones who are cheating. And then it'll create slander. You know, keep in mind that FFX is extremely sensitive, right? You guys have gotten under their skin pretty easily, even by saying the minimal amount, right? Can anybody expand on
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
They get offended
Uh,
pretty quickly. I mean, I know that I was on their radar pretty early on, just from you know, just from the podcast. But like, what do you guys do that got under their skin?
I think calling them out on their thing and calling them trash and calling them different names like fishy lips and
Yeah,
and it
classic.
and got them under their skin. But yes, mob does come in there too with them, which is horrible.
Yeah, but it's like these people that are coming at you, everybody's grown adults, right? It's really the game of like, oh, you can dish out you know, harassment and stuff like that, but as soon as you get called like a little name or whatever, oh, all bets are off. Everyone gets super salty. Everyone starts posting stuff on social media, and it's like, you know, guys, what are we doing here? You know, what is the point? Are we 18 years old? Are we 16 years old? No, we're like adults. We're, you know, raising kids or paying mortgages or buying, you know, cars or getting jobs, hopefully. Some of us, anyways. But it's like, is this normal behavior for a, you know, I would say a developed crew that's been around a long time, who has probably the average age is like 25, you know, 25, 26. It's getting, you know, it's getting up there with all the leadership being over 30 and stuff. Is this normal behavior for a crew to have?
no, this is not a normal crew behavior.
Hmm.
They think this game is like a high school. They think that they're the popular people that wants to bully people like in high
Exactly.
school. So they gotta put the other people down and make themselves look good. When someone put them down and make them look bad and make them embarrassed in front of their members, they're gonna go attack the people and keep bullying them until it snaps, till they
Hmm.
break.
Yeah, I love the metaphor of comparing them to a high school. It's very accurate, I find, because it really brings me back to like when I was going to school, and I'm like, who are these people that think they can, walk around like they own the place? So there's we were talking about the phases before. It goes to like texting exchanges, and then at that point, when people are communicating through text, but they're gonna use screenshots from your conversations to post in their garbage content. I know a lot of them like don't really have much invested in actually entertaining people with their content. It's more of like a get back. You know what I mean? You look at they're like I said, they're provocateurs. Someone like Jay Milla, who's literally been stuck at like 200 followers or whatever he's at for the entire time that I know him. I mean, the guy is not trying to entertain anybody. He's not going to grow, and his content is extremely amateur to say the least. But yeah, there'll be that phase where they'll texting will escalate to social media, whether it's less screenshots or they'll get clips on you dying, despite the fact that they're cheating you in fights. They'll completely gaslight the content into saying that they beat you. But anybody who knows the com well knows to take anything that FFX uploads with a grain of salt, right? We all know that they're full of shit. We know that they have their reputation is completely stained and that they never fight clean fights. So I doubt anybody really believes what they see, on their pages. So there's that. And then once it goes to social media, at that point it's escalated to the point where they're obviously going to try to jump you, right?
Yeah.
So like that kind of like that opens up another phase because it's escalating to the point where they'll remember you now. They're gonna remember you for a while, and they're gonna try to attack you on social media or in game. So can you guys describe to me like the jumping aspect? Like how bad is it, and how often do they actually come after you?
They only come after us when we're not looking or when we're not paying attention, or if we have someone adding us that we don't know
Mm-hmm.
and we don't realize that they're going to add us, and they just jump us randomly with other members with them.
They used to jump us twice a week, and now it's down like every other week. Now they do it.
Okay, you're lower on the list now. It's dwindled out. They're going after other people probably.
Well, not until they do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like the reality is like none of us are really special, right? Like this is a standard procedure for them. This is why they play the game is to provoke and offend people. Otherwise they would have a bit more integrity. They would fight more clean fights, etc. But the jumping and the flooding gives them that sort of power, right? That control over the game, and they want to terrorize you constantly.
They always want to control me all the time. They want to like go against her, go against Pickle all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They will make sure that I can't be around Pickles.
Yeah, so they will kick her off, they boot her off, so I'll be by myself, so they can attack me.
And they don't even boot
And then-
you. They boot her off and then they single you out. They're running cheats. They're doing everything they can to possibly win. When they don't get their way, or when they feel like they've been getting one upped or whatever, a couple of people have actually hit them pretty hard and exposed them a couple of times. But it's like that they're not gonna back down. It'll go to the extent of like these losers will actually reach out and try to contact your family, or they'll send you photos of yourselves. They'll find you on social media and then just make hit pieces on you. Not even about the game. It'll literally be some goofy photo of you or your personal information, or the standard procedural stuff. And they take huge pride in this. I saw they started posting like people's nudes on domains on websites, which is pretty pathetic to do, and not even legal. But it's not like they have any morals, right? Their moral fiber is very loose, and they'll go to any extent to try to get their get back. So that's really what the phases are. It'll go from like fighting, then getting cheated, and then getting booted, to social media slander, to doxing, and then to the point where they're literally making threats to you guys and trying to intimidate you for whatever reason. Can you guys talk to me about what kind of cheats they use or what you've seen out there?
I think that I seen them use like a lot of leg switching and
God.
sometimes God mode or invisible, and sometimes maybe freeze leg.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time they use God mode, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there was one point where I shot dynamite at them many times and they didn't die. But they flew up in the air.
Well, like, I don't even understand because they do flood with numbers and they're literally going to go in God mode for the two. Like, you guys are usually as a pair, right? You're usually fighting two people or maybe one extra person, right? Right. Why do you think they go so hard in like trying to kill you? What is the point of all this? And like, what don't you think it's like overkill to take all these precautions just to fight you two? To fight two
Well,
people?
it's just what they do. They fled the lobby to make themselves look like the bigger person here, and just only two of us versus maybe 15 or 25 or 16 of them around us to make us look bad. FFX has all these people around us, and we don't know what to do.
Like, I just want to point something out. Like, if you flood, okay, flooding is part of the game. I understand that strength with numbers and whatever. But if you actually talk shit because you flood, that doesn't make you tough as a crew. You outnumber people. You know what I mean? So if you're actually gonna talk crap and slander people because you have more numbers, that kind of says something about the type of like gamer you are. You know what I mean? You hide behind numbers too. You know, and it's like, I don't know, stick to 1v1ing or something, or there's no fair fight in flooding. So I get it, it's free roam. Maybe you check your ego at the door when you're actually gonna talk crap about like 16v2ing like people or whatever, and using cheats. I mean, your argument is completely voided as soon as you use any sort of exploit or cheat. But it's just pathetic how much they have to gaslight a situation to make it seem like, oh, they came in with overwhelming force or something, and people had no chance. Of course they had no chance because 4 people out of 10 can't even die. So what's the point of playing the game? What's the point of fighting in this game?
It's crazy how they have to do all that stuff to make themselves look good.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna talk about like the 2 primary culprits of the harassment here. What's her name?
Gold Dolly?
Yeah, Ghoul Dolly and J Milla Plus. I know that he's tried to reinvent himself, which is usually what happens when people are taking like huge L's. What do you think these two have in common?
Dolly has common of trying to show that she is better than anybody else, and she likes to think she's good at fighting, which she's not.
Mm-hmm. And J Milla is similar, I guess you can say. I mean, they both live in God mode, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So a bunch of cheaters thinking that they're good, but deep down they must know how trash they are. Everybody like constantly tells them. I think that the reality has settled in long ago, especially when you're getting up there. You're middle-aged people, you got kids, obviously not doing enough to raise them or not doing enough to train yourself in the game. But there's a lot of similarities with the type of people who rise in FFX, and I think it's an interesting subject to talk about, like Ghoul and J Milla, because they are pretty sad as people. They are angry and extremely toxic. Why do you think they're like that?
I do not know, honestly. I don't know how they got to that point, how they had to be like them type of people, which I know they have no life. I know that part.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all the toxicity is, I don't know. She wasn't like this before until she joined the crew.
Okay, yeah. So I know you guys have a past with Ghoul Dolly. Where did that start?
Like a long, long, long time ago when I met her with an old friend. I started talking to her and I let her meet Pickles, and she helped us into fights.
Okay, so you guys were actually friends before the FFX recruitment.
I mean, she was pretty nice to me. She helped us with fights before.
Okay.
She's always kind to me.
Okay, okay.
And
So she was just like a normal girl, like just playing the game and looking to meet friends and stuff like that, right?
yes,
Hmm.
And fast forward to today, it's like night and day. It's like you're dealing with a different person, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really know. I can only assume that she changed after joining FFX, which is usually the case. I mean, you're a product of your environment, and if you're playing with these people all the time, I mean, eventually they're gonna change you.
It's like a switch.
Yeah. Speaking of switches, they actually provide you with lag switches if you want. You just need to ask if ever anybody's into that. If people are too lazy to train or something, you can just go the FFX route. But you guys have dealt a lot more with Ghoul Dolly. I know that you know Jay Milla, who's probably one of the biggest douchebags in Red Dead. I mean, who knows when he kind of like fell off. I know that his mom passed away unfortunately last year in the summer. That's kind of like when I met him. I literally met him like when he was at his worst, when he was at his ultimate lows, and maybe that could be like an explanation. As like he just progressively got more bitter throughout the months. That kind of behavior is contagious amongst everybody. So
Yeah.
why do you guys think that they're so like angry and bitter? What makes them do the things they do? What do you think motivates them?
Trying to show off.
Hmm.
Showing off, and when you call them out on their stuff, also,
I hate to bring up the high school thing again, but it's like there's a lot of status that goes into this game. If you're playing at all the time for years, it's like a second life. So I guess I can kind of
Yeah.
understand that. At the same time, people take this game way too seriously. You're too old to be getting this mad and spending like this amount of energy into like harming people and harassing people. I mean, like, how do you spend your life every day, thinking like this and just like pissing people off?
They're showing like the same attitude they want to show the kids, and
Yeah, and they're also very immature. I mean, for example, we know that Ghoul Dolly's nudes got leaked recently, and you're
yeah,
like, why are you shaking your ass while like kid cartoons are playing? You know what I mean? Like, why are you sending nudes to people with kids in the background or like their shows? I find that shit like really crazy and
it's
pretty trashy, if you ask me.
it is crazy. Like you could hear the cartoons playing in the background. You could hear Mickey Mouse or something in the background, and it's very disgusting.
Yeah, the cheating does change you as a person, and then you attract bad people, and then you turn into this thing where just the way that they conduct themselves, the way they text, and how much energy they put into harassing people, they turn into this miserable, petty, like bitter, person. So I just like hope people can kind of realize this and like analyze what they're turning into. I do think that a lot of people in this game cheat to be socially accepted. It's like a thing that's glorified on this game for some reason. What about you guys? What do you think about cheats and
It's
like
just, why would you cheat? You don't need to cheat to look good. It's
yeah.
not like a competition to show who's better and who's not. It's just a game. It's not like a real life survival mode.
Hmm. People know how, like what you guys go through now and like the abuse. As females in the game, do you think that you're treated fairly compared to males in this game?
No, we get treated differently.
Mm.
We get treated like garbage. We get treated like we're nothing. Like every guy would tell us to go back to the kitchen and say that we're weak and we can't not fight. And if a male's beside us, they treat the males more better than they treat women.
Yeah, that
yeah.
could be.
Definitely.
Yeah, that definitely happens. What about pickles?
Yeah, I feel the same way, but they also tell you to go in the kitchen and make him a damn sandwich.
Classic.
Mm-hmm. And if the guys see a girl, they shoot you right away sometimes.
Yeah, that joke is so overused. Like, guys, if you're gonna be misogynistic, get a little bit more creative now. I mean, that's the kitchen sandwich joke has definitely left the building in the '90s. Getting old.
So
You know?
old.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's like I don't know. I
And
expected
being
more
mean
creativity.
about girls and making fun of them because how they're different is
Hmm.
it's rude too. Like saying stuff, mean stuff to people to make girls feel bad about themselves and make them upset, and they think they're showing themselves something good about themselves, which is not.
Mm-hmm.
Right.